Hey there, YouTube. We're going to do our Israeli update, just an update on the protests. Unfortunately, I do not have an update on the Palestinian situation. I'm just going to go ahead and safely assume that Palestinian land is being taken. The apartheid state is increasing in power and arrogance. More innocent people were being shot and harassed in the neighborhood that they were born in. So we'll just go ahead and give you that as the Palestinian update. Do something over a tweet. I'm sure as fuck wish they... Yeah, Alice, I agree with you, but I also would like to point out that we now have a nuclear armed, powerful body that does not listen to civilian commands. If there was ever a president to ignore, of course it'd be Trump. But the fact that it happened and it happened out in the open, and they've General Milley has admitted to it, is very, very troubling. It's very troubling. Ask Davey. Davey understands the importance of a chain of command. All right, so let's get here. Civil war is a red line. Israel's president says as thousands protest judicial overhaul. So if you're not sure what the hell's going on in Israel, the right-wing government, Bibi Netanyahu, and the main character from Human Centipede 2 have formed a coalition government, and they are basically trying to pass a law that would allow them to just strike away any kind of, if Bibi's being investigated, they could have a meeting and then just say, nope, I'm not being investigated anymore. Basically, they'd be able to control the judicial, go after whatever political enemies that they want, commit whatever crimes, steal whatever they want to steal. And anytime that there's an attempt to hold them accountable, they could just say, nope, you're not allowed to hold us accountable. It's the destruction of whatever semblance of a democracy existed in Israel. And yeah, it is a bit of a joke to call Israel a, democracy, but technically it is, but it does put a stain on the word.
מי שחושב שמלחמת אחים של ממש, של חיי אדם, היא גבול שלא נגיע אליו, אין לו מושג. דווקא עכשיו, בשנת ה-75 למדינת ישראל, התהום במרחק נגיעה. מלחמת אחים היא קו אדום. אני לא אתן לזה לקרות, בכל מחיר, בכל דרך. אבל אני באמת מאמין בכל ליבי.
Oh boy, they drew a red line. Whoa, look at that. See, that's the protest.
היסטורית. הזדמנות להסדרה חוקתית, מאוזנת, חכמה.
I have to point out that a grand majority of these people agree with the Palestinian apartheid state. Okay? I'm sure there's a lot of them that are, and I saw and I showed some footage of people that, that were firmly against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. But can we honestly say that these people in these numbers were getting out in the streets to defend the Palestinian people against the Israeli government? It's just, I have to point that out, that these people that are like, the Handmaid's Tale or so pro-democracy, a lot of them are perfectly okay with subjugating the Palestinian people. And there's an irony to it that I just need to point out. Except for Palestine.
We are here to protect our democracy, our country, because we feel that our country is under a brutal
really constant, huh, Lenny?
The government, the Israeli government.
Except for Palestinians. Except for Palestinians. Except for Palestinians. Except those Arab people. Hey, look at this. It's a funeral march, right? Like the ones that we saw in Palestine that were interrupted by the IDF, where they almost dropped the coffin of what was it, that journalist Youssef, is it? Oh, I can't quite remember her name. She was the journalist shot in the face by the IDF. And then the IDF invaded and disrupted the funeral procession. They actually almost tipped over the coffin there because they were beating the people holding the coffin with sticks. I remember that. That's probably what they're trying to recreate here. Except for Palestine. Yeah, the IDF, Israeli Defense Force. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, look, I actually support what they're doing and what they're protesting for. Of course, I don't agree with right-wing governments, taking full control of the judiciary and just running ramshot over. Of course, I don't agree with that. But the irony is too thick for me to not acknowledge it. The irony is just way too thick to not point out that it's what's happening in Palestine is a majority Democratic decision. The majority, there's a majority in Israel. The Israeli people agree with what is happening. Bibi Netanyahu was voted back in along with the human centipede character. Probably have some fucked up opinion and tend to be less genocidal than Israeli far right. Yeah, there's some gradations there, right? It's like they'll never give up Jerusalem. No, Jerusalem is ours because God. Some of them are not speaking to each other, even though we've been friends since the 80s. They're quite divided. I mean, this would divide, If it wasn't Palestine, this would definitely do it. Well, there you go, YouTube. That's my Israeli update. Not a big one. Free Palestine, 110%. I'm no fan of Hamas, and the rockets aren't working, but there's no excuse for what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people. Return their homes. 1967 borders. I know it's falling on deaf ears, but because you know what?
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
Because I've gone too far. I've criticized the Israeli government and the democratic decision of their people to subjugate the Palestinians. So that makes me an anti-Semite.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
That's just how it is, huh? They've really effectively weaponized calls to anti-Semitism. So anyway, there you go, YouTube. That's my update. Thank you.